who want it. Okay. So module one in ESG investing and sustainability finance, we are going to cover the introductory part. We will start with what is ESG. Then we will look into what do we mean by ESG investing, how these are interrelated, and why sustainability fundamentals plays a major role in deciding company, country, and individual carbon footprint in long term. What are those important aspects and what is the impact of the same? Look, we set four learning objective for the whole boot camp, which was starting from understanding ESG investing. That you, if you do not have any background in even investing, don't worry. ESG investing sessions will make it very easy for you. Why? Because we will start with a fundamental like what exactly ESG factor means, what are the key frameworks on the basis of which ESG and sustainability system works, and how the sustainability reporting standards is integrated with in decision making or analysis of ESG or analysis of ESG investing. Now, goal two we have set for this program, this bootcamp was analyzing climate science, energy transition, and their financial implications. So, what exactly is climate science? What do you mean by greenhouse gases? How it interacts with companies and businesses? What are the outputs which we measure, etc. when we look into the emissions from the company, and what are the financial implications? The linkage is very important between what people are doing in terms of their emissions and how that is linked to their operations. The five pathways to materiality comes into play, like revenue. Does it adds to revenue? Does it adds to your cost? Does it has a regulatory implication? Can you be thrown out of the business, etc.? Then comes goal three. Goal three of this session was to assess ESG integration strategy in decision making specifically. Or if you are a financial analyst or ESG analyst, you definitely need to know how to integrate the ESG factors into your financial decision making. Okay, how those material topics can also be looked with the lens of currency or money. And last part, we also looked into real life real world ESG case study to investment analysis and sustainable finance. Now, we started our program with following curricula, which we set in the beginning. There were 6 modules in total, 5 we have covered. One is the question answer and case study presentation. Now, we started with investing fundamental. We started with this ABC soup of ESG and ESG investing, what exactly ESG stands for, etc. Then we have gone into sustainability frameworks, benefit of incorporating principle. Then we went into module 2, where we are looking into climate science and energy transition, how these are interrelated and how it works. And we need to know by science of climate change, energy transition landscape, and mapping that in a clean energy pathway, how you can achieve that net zero targets. What are the steps you should be taking? What are the different frameworks which are available at your disposal? After that, we have also looked into ecological concept with a point of view that how this ecosystem works with biodiversity. What is that interlinkage and what kind of biodiversity and regulations are available at our disposal, which has a impact in ESG. And I believe this is the missing link right now. Yeah, the nature and biodiversity along with ESG, if it three comes together, and last 5 years, that is the momentum. Of course, there is a WWF, which is there for donkey years. Miss, I know them for last 30, 40 years. It's an NGO which exists, but now they have brought in a standard for biodiversity, which is which a lot of people are, corporates are adopting to grow faster in ESG space. Then comes, of course, the integration part along with the risk management. We looked into physical, transitional, and scenario analysis to understand that risk and the impact of that risk into our business operation and how those ESG risks need to be built into our company operation for long-term sustenance of the company, like disaster recovery plan, etc. we discussed. Final module which we are going to cover and covered was ESG data and carbon accounting. So carbon footprinting, accounting, defining a scope 1, 2, 3, what exactly it means and how that impacts ESG and ESG investing was our focus, which we did with materiality and double materiality linkage. And finally, we did a real world case study. We taken 2 case study. One was Denmark, one was Apple, Microsoft, There were 3, 4 more, and then we did a presentation. There was a presentation done by and has to be done by our members who have not yet attempted. And then there is an exam which we have stopped for timing because few people have still not completed their presentation. Now, post module coverage, which we are starting now, we have set 3 goals. Okay, we started with goal number 1, which we set for ourselves, saying that let's understand the fundamentals. Okay, fundamentals of ESG investing and impact investment of the financial market. We looked into goal number 2, which was exploring sustainability frameworks, which are GRI, SASB, SDG, TCFD, and how they are impacting our ESG decision making. Okay, how those report works, what are the difference between those report, and how you can use it for your ESG analysis or decision making. Finally, goal number 3, we assess the benefit and challenges of integration for investor and corporation. Let's start with first part of it, ESG investing and sustainability fundamental. We first looked into what is that E, S, and G. Okay, how they are different, what exactly it means. And what we learned eventually is that to take a planet pulse, right, you need to bring environmental science in play. Environmental science, I'm saying, okay, which actually later on converged into environmental as a factor or a pillar of the sustainability. Are you with me? Now, why I'm saying science? Because this particular video, was produced by ESA, which is European Authority, European Space Agency. They have done this video for the purpose of showcasing that how currently scientifically they are measuring the event. You might have seen the video scene started with a round white spherical, right? That is the Copernicus Center, where observatory center, which collects data from all these satellite, which are Copernicus satellite in between. So you might be seeing 3, like in Saturn, you have rings, right? So these are the rings where the satellite travel. Okay, so there is of course meteorological satellite which is on the higher level, and then you have Copernicus satellites which are feeding the data about Earth, how the Earth is behaving, what temperatures are there, etc. It is measuring very closely, and then you of course scientific satellites are also there on the bottom layer. So the center one is what has been shown throughout the video, where you must be seeing that they are even mapping your earth terrain, right, and what exactly is available. What a beautiful earth we have, isn't it? Do we appreciate it?
Absolutely.
Look, I love it when I see such kind of videos, that we have craters, we have and when you see it with such a height, it becomes pleasurable. And when people pollute it intentionally, then it becomes really bad. So anyway, my reason to show you is that there are a lot of naysayer in the world, and we know few of them now. They are even president of certain countries. Of course, it is his choice and his direction, and it is his feedback which he has got through the nature and society, which he is following. And he's right in his sense, right? 50% of population has voted for him. So he has to look after that. But that doesn't mean that there is no science exist, right? I still remember in my sixth or seventh class, I learned about Galileo. And it means I'm a old educated guy. Okay. They told this, our teacher was really nice science teacher. I was first getting introduced to English and science at that point in time. And she was telling us that there was a guy, very old guy, and who said that Earth, because of course now kids learns that into first standard one, right? That Earth used to be in center and sun used to move. That and this guy came in Europe and said that it is opposite, and he was about to be getting hanged, so he accepted that okay, what you guys are saying correct, release me. Otherwise, people used to get killed, chopped in front of population if they go against the churches or talk something weird like this. Similarly, today the situation is exactly same. Anybody who says that environment there is no science, people do trust that as a real stuff than the actual science. So the reason of showing you that the pulse of Earth is environment, and if you don't take that pulse, we are near to death, isn't it? If there is no pulse, we are near to death, correct? We can't hold your pulse. We can't hold your means even doctors say it in 4 5 minutes. If your pulse is not back, you are dead. So similarly,
Beautifully explained, sir. Beautifully explained.
so this is what exactly is happening right now. Yeah. So Galileo, instead of Galileo, there are new breed which is opposite of Galileo, which says that there is one more good joke I have just watched, which says that airport is flights are superficial stuff. Actually, we don't travel in flight. So people, the another comic character asked him. He was interviewing. It's a podcast. There are a new culture right now, podcast culture. Even I have been called for 2 3 recently. They don't want videos normal. They want podcast video. They don't want keynote speaker. They want podcast speaker. So the guy is a podcast recording where the people are making commentary that in America, if they can say environment, climate change is not happening, even why can't we have another things similarly equivalent? So they selected a topic of airports, air travel, and they said that actually there is no air travel. So the questioner asked him that, okay, then how we feel we are traveling and we see clouds and we reach to destination. They said it's a high speed bus. It's actually bus. What happens is that 2 hours before they will call you. Have you observed in airport you can't go
Yes.
on the exact damn on the time. You have to come 2 hours before. So he said, yes, yeah, that's true. You are saying right. We have to go 2 hours early. So that's what their game is. They call you there and then they spray a scent which takes you in trance. And then after everything is blurred to you. So you feel you are walking, you are in alley, somebody's checking your tickets. There are people, but if you will be out of trance, you will be start laughing because those are people not even in normal circumstances you will meet, like ticket collector, etc. And then they will take you to bus, they will make you sit there and they will spray again, and then you will feel that there is a takeoff happening, there is a you are in flight, and then in 2 hours you reach to a destination. It's a high speed buses. So he asked, then how you know this? Then he start running out. So that's a joke kind of stuff, but point here is that there will be always a naysayer in the world, but science has to prove those naysayers that you are a naysayer, and there is a real science which we are working on. Okay, so 40 years of scientific work cannot be thrown in dustbin because some leader has decided to do that. That leader can decide whatever they want, but world will exist, science will exist, and pulse of environment is being currently taken by scientific methods. Second is social, the human connection. How can we ignore human connection by putting them handcuffed and sending them to their countries? Yeah, putting high barbed wires and killing child in that process of migration. Yeah, if you want to stop, announce that there is no need of you and nobody will go there. People think that is the land of fortune. So they go there and try to earn their living. Yeah, they are not going there to spoil your society. Actually, it has been proven over a period of time that a migrant worker works massively because he has to lose, he has everything to lose, right? And he develops that country. And currently, you see more than 250 top-notch CEOs and CFOs are from Indians, are from India or from, I'm just counted Indians, so I'm talking about Indians. So that social connection we should not be ignoring as a fact that we are developed world. Yeah, we cannot ignore that, the people to people connection, employee to employee connection, because they make your company or break your company. Customer, supplier, and community are equally important, right? Just putting tariff on other country, thinking that that country will not reciprocate is completely useless concept. Okay. Even in 2020, France has put the similar tariff. So they are waiting for Tuesday. If that is announced, they will also announce a similar kind of tariff back to USA. That is why human connection cannot be missed. And that's a second factor which world has agreed under ESG factor to be considered. Third, which came little late to our cognizance after WorldCom, Enron, etc., even in India, Satyam Computers, that if companies not ethical enough, you need not to be a preacher, you need not to be a saint. Yeah, it is not expected as a business. Business is exist for making profits. But with the ethics in play, you can make a prosperity with a purpose. Both are P. How you want to take it, this decision is yours. And if you don't do it, of course, there are taxes, there are government regulation because we exist in civil. G is equally important. It stands for governance, specifically for companies, countries, as well as individual. If you are not disciplined enough, and often overlook the critical foundation of ESG, you will be always suffering. And that's how the evolution of ESG and ESG investing started happening. Now, from CSR to ESG impact investing is another story to be covered. I have missed the third. No problem. You can attend all three sessions, Manjunath. You are there or you left, Doctor?
No,
You,
I'm there.
okay. You can attend all three. No worries.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so evolution of ESG investing happened again over a period of time. In 1400, first time, several institutions, including institutions like Sharia and Christianity, both of them institutionalized their donation and corporate social responsibility aspect of their religion. Scripture had it from the beginning that you cannot grow at expense of other. If you are growing, you have a responsibility to take care of your society. That's a fundamental even in Hinduism, Jainism. Jainism had a specific process to this, right? That if you earn, you have to take that Tirthankar trip and you have to put those money for a religious purposes or good purposes. And earlier, this religious places were the places where actual business happens, right? Used to happen, where langars was the concept, because they were the most capable people after the kings and queens. They were the most capable people to interact with society. So people used to interact with that system in 1400. It got institutionalized in 1400th century, where people started looking into that as well as a responsibility. Yeah, of course, as a formal stuff of investing started happening was 1700, where British India and formalization of companies started happening. So companies started running countries, society, etc. So they started also looking into there has to be a piece in our corporate structure as well after East India Company being so successful that we should take care of underprivileged people, or if you are sucking blood from them, give them some education kind of stuff, right? So that also came in through corporatization of that in 17th century. And then, of course, in 19th century, first time, people started testing water that can investing also can become for good? Can we do that? In 1911, the previous book version, if somebody has 2023, otherwise I have it, I will share with you, has a complete story about it in Chartered Financial Analyst program. Okay, they have given that story completely. So read that, it's very interesting. But my point was, in 1970, first time actual investment has happened where American companies and UK company has invested a movement in South Africa. If you know apartheid movement, it was funded through ESG investing. Okay, it was called first time. It was called ESG, not ESG at that point in time. That was not the word. The word was socially responsible investing, SRI. That's why SRI remain relevant today as well. Socially responsible investing. Apart from CSR, investing started happening. So people used to create fund after mutual fund creation in 1890s, 1870s. This happened in 2000, 1990, 1960 and 1970, where they funded it. They funded Vietnam War after that. Of course, they thought that was the right thing to do. So they did that. And after that, everybody has created their own fund for doing some impact or investment. And then, of course, corporate followed CSR. Now, there are three different layers of this responsible investing. It started with CSR. There was a religious faith-based investing initially. Then came CSR, which completely philanthropic purpose for collection money and then distributing it. Happened with the steel barons. And there is a very nice series which is going on, I believe, on G or something like that. I started watching actually. That's a nice series on capitalism society. Of course, it's a kind of soap opera. It's not that much of business sensical, but it gives the real life stories of that point in time when steel baron, Chaplin, the coal baron, the railroad barons were there in US, right? That point in time, a story is going on Netflix or Prime Video. I don't recall that. But what they were trying to show at that point in time, that they used to have, instead of kitty parties, all their wives used to have fundraisers in New York, etc. And they used to raise funds from all these barons and then distribute it to the society who were needing it. So similar is the functionary of CSR Foundation. And then came ESG integration, that is in between. And then the extreme end is impact investing. Impact investing and CSR, there are some commonalities, right? Because both are purpose driven. But addition in impact is that it has also profit, which it drives. And exactly if you come into the middle is only talks about equally balancing both. So purpose with a profit is a ESG integration or ESG investing. That's how they differentiate ESG investing altogether. Now, identifying greenwashing risk, as ESG investing is growing, there is a risk of greenwashing also equally growing. Yeah, because now people want to attract those funds. They want to comply. In order to comply, they overstate their initiative. And that's the stage one of greenwashing, where you started overstating your initiatives. And understand, greenwashing is not only related to environmental side of ESG factor discussion, but also it covers the social side and governance side. And the governance, we know several examples where when you start overstating, Satyam started with that background, isn't it? They said, I have so many people when they have none. They were paying salary to, poll and post. Then they said, later on, they said, I have so much of profit, so much of pipelines, they have none. Yeah, so they started forcing that. They said, I have so much of cash in my business. And then they started forging even bank statements for auditors, right? So,
Satyam is the case, no?
sorry?
Satyam is the case.
Yeah, Satyam is the case,
Satyam
absolutely.
was the case. Yes, Satyam was the case.
Satyam Computer is the case. And then, so the greenwashing starts from there, specifically in the terms of ecological impact. It starts from overclaiming that I'm green, I'm doing so and so initiative, and actually you do none. One of those ideal cases are Adidas case of Adidas. Why? Because they have been twice penalized. Still, they run the company with same collar being raised, right? In 2021, of course, in 2020s, they are producing, by the way, sustainability report for 8, 9 years now, if I recall properly. If it is longer than that, of course, possibly. Um, but they have peaked in their sales cycle with shoes called sneakers. Now, I used to hate sneakers when I was young because one day on Saturday, you need to wear those cloth-made shoes, right? White color, if you remember. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
always, sorry,
में
Yeah,
white
yeah, it was there.
होते थे हम लोग white polish करते थे
वो सैटरडे को पहनना पड़ता था and he used to get dirty all the time. That was my problem. And then you come home and mom was very clear that I will not touch your shoes. So you clean, you don't clean, I don't care. But if you don't clean, of course, you can't go to school. So that was the headache part. They brought in some white painter as well, right? There used to be some paint, but that made it worse actually. So I used to hate sneakers, but sneaker is one of the game changer for Adidas as a company. Yeah, when they launched it with Jordan, Air Jordan, etc. Is of course Air Jordan is different brand, Nike brand, but it peaked in last 5 years. So millennial loves this sneakers and shoes and new styles, and their business grown up very fast. In that process, they started bringing in green, and that's the story. That as the ESG investing, they wanted to attract those kind of investing. By the way, all the maximum big brand, shoes brand specifically, they do not do manufacturing. They only do the labeling, right? They do manufacturing in countries like Cambodia, India. इंडिया में तो बहुत बड़ा केस भी हुआ था ना नाइकी या किसी के साथ जिसका सीईओ वाज सेलिंग इन द यू नो in the local market instead of to their distributor and channels. But coming back to that Adidas story, so as they were attracting new funds and growing very faster, they started doing greenwashing. They launched this shoes, Stan Smith shoes, at that point in time, saying that we are means of course it's 50% recycled. If you see in the bottom, or even in the write-up, which I have put it for you, of course, it's not very clear. Is it clear or is not clear on the screen?
It's
Stan,
clear.
yeah
the poster, the advertisement poster.
Stan Smith and plastic waste huh?
Stan Smith and plastic waste.
Yes, ending the plastic waste. That's what their claim was. But when you read the last line in my slide, it is very written very clearly: 100% iconic, 50% recycled. So how much recycling they are doing? 50% from bottle
50%.
caps, which is there in the picture. They used to convert certain part of the shoes. But problem was this 100% people used to read when it was written in green and feel that it is 100% recycle. And this crowd, the young crowd, loves such kind of a statement, trust me. And they get blinded by such kind of play of language. You know how advertisers work, right? They play on the language. That's it. They don't do anything else. They come, they will charge you crores of rupees, and then they will do is play of word. Same दो word रखेगा उलट कर डाल देगा बोलेगा सर मैंने क्या डाला है and it works. Right? We know that. We have met several advertisers like those. They will come with ponytail and all, and very stylish. And
People get carried away with that.
sorry,
without
sorry.
ponytail also
Without ponytail, no advertisement works.
People get carried away with that, I'm saying.
True, true. That is required. If it is not there, he's not creative, we feel. Yeah,
yes
Painters, MF Hussain, etc. If you are creative, you do not care about your hair. Just do a ponytail and come to meetings. But that is how they do. They play with word, and playing with word has worked against this company. Okay. Slowly, people realize that it is not recycled, right? And somebody must have gone to court, French court specifically. And according to French jury, di deontologie publicitaire, JDP, in short, I can't pronounce French words. Let me excuse myself. On Adidas has released, they penalized them that this is complete farce claim. They are not doing any recycling. Means they are doing it, but that recycling effort is wrongly perceived by people. And that is why they cannot operate with such kind of advertisement and they need to penalty to the court for public service. That has happened in France in 2021. These guys still do not learn the lesson. Still they publish, and they publish very good reports as well. Nike, I love Nike report, however. Still they are in the similar league, but at least I love their report. So whoever has attended our GRI session must have seen Nike report in detail, which we discuss how they are reporting, etc. Now, this guy in 2024 again has been caught. And this time they have been caught for the social injustice, where they have not paid laborers in Cambodia for 6 months, playing that it is not my responsibility, it is a responsibility of the local vendor who is working with us. But when you don't manufacture your own self, you get it done in the countries like Cambodia, India, Vietnam, etc., or African country also they use. And there is a rule in America which is called Dodd-Frank rule, where clear-cut instructions are there that child labor, etc., etc. If it is happening, you have to report in your financial, reporting, and you cannot entertain such kind of stuff. And still, they have not paid those guys to the tune of something $12 million. Yeah, for India में अगर कोई कंपनी को $12 million नहीं मिले तो बर्बाद हो जाएगा. I'm just saying on the lighter note, because these are mostly offshoot company. They only work for such kind of companies. So it was very difficult time for Cambodian people, and this also has been taken as a offense to ESG initiative. So ESG initiative, you can start very easy, but maintaining is difficult part because greenwashing start playing the role. Yeah. So be careful about greenwashing specifically as we are going forward with ESG initiative and investing. Now, red flag for greenwashings are, these are the 4 critical stuff is, by the way, Diamond member will get that Excel sheet where you can just fill 6 questions and you can come to know this initiative is a greenwashing initiative or not. So if you are working for company, just send me a message. I will send you that Excel sheet based automated sheet where you can judge anybody whether they are doing greenwashing or not. Okay. How they judge it? These are the 4 parameters. It is vague or unsubstantiated claims. Okay. So if any claim has been made where there is no substantiation has been done, they just made it. Stan Smith, very good example, right? Stan Smith forever. Why it is forever? 100% iconic brand because very old brand now and 50% recycled. So we are changing the bottle. Yeah. So it's a new wine, but those claims were not been substantiated. They could not prove they are 100% recycled or 50% recycled, whichever case. And again, the advertisement worked against them. Second, lack of transparency. If company doesn't tell, they claim, but they don't tell how this 50% recycling happened. Is it in rubber? Is it in cloth? Is it in the strip? Is it on your laces? Where? That also gives a red flag for people who want to observe. Third is overemphasis on minor initiative. So I went to unfurl the flag in my community town hall and it became a big news for a company. Understand he is trying to play. He is trying to white color all his wrong deed, which he must have done with the municipality. You got my point, yeah? So that overemphasis of minor initiative also creates a red flag for company. Fourth is misalignment with the core business. So anybody who has a core business of making shoes and start talking about that I have done, supporting greening of airlines. All my people are using now cycle to go to America to Africa. Yeah, all that kind of initiative, if he's differentiating from his core business, understand there is a greenwashing happening. How you can stop this? By assessing ESG credibility. Check for third-party verification. So if you are working for a company and you want to stop their greenwashing initiative, or you think their initiative is showing such kind of red flags, then suggest them to have third-party verification. Robust reporting framework like GRI, TCFD, TNFD, let them select one and report on that. And last is alignment with the long-term goal. With that, first part of first module is finished. Let's start with the second module, which is overview of GRI, SASB, and TCFD. Now, what I have done, I have taken these 3 frameworks, what actually they ask from us and how they differentiate with each other. I will try to cover. What it is. So GRI, of course, is a universal standard framework. which offers a comprehensive set of standard for sustainability reporting, while SASB is a framework that provides industry specific. So that's the difference. Okay. GRI is universal. You can accept any, you can come from any industry and you can accept this fundamental reporting structure or framework. But SASB is industry specific. They have covered massive industry list, which is 77 to be exact, and they are increasing every year, right? They provide those industry specific material topics and how to tackle them. They have created that kind of a structure. That's why SASB is slowly coming into mainstream. But still there is a trouble with SASB and GRI in terms of matter, why it matters. So look, GRI is a voluntary completely. SASB is getting included through IFRS S1, S2. So it is getting mandatory done by CSRD initiative, etc. While TCFD is mostly relevant to financial companies because it is task force for the this is done by United Nations task force. And that is why it is, what is the recommendation here? They recommend to disclose your clear, comparable, consistent information about risk and opportunity presented in climate change. And this is more or less linked to climate change. Okay. Climate related financial disclosure is this task force framework helps. So these are the three different type of it. Of course, TCFD helps companies to articulate and inform their investor about their climate-related financial risk. So whatever company is facing financial risk related to climate, they report on TCFD framework and send it to their investor. Examples are very good examples. Our report includes, material use, human rights, impact, greenhouse gases emission, and workforce diversity in GRI. It gets prominent there. In SASB, matrices like in the industry like energy, healthcare, technology, which might include water management instead of human rights, private data privacy instead of human rights, or labor practices in general could be focused here in SASB based on industry to industry changes. But GRI has a common parameter except for those 4 industry specific additional disclosure. If you are in oil and gas industry, mining industry, fisheries and agriculture industry, then you have to additionally disclose certain parameter in GRI. But in SASB, you can separate all your reporting style, materiality topic decision based on that industry recommendation by SASB. That's the difference. Of course, in TCFD, disclosure include governance around climate related risk and opportunity because focuses only on climate, right? So here they talk about risk related to opportunity, organization, business, strategy, and financial planning. What is the benefit of GRI? It is widely recognized. 14,000 plus companies are already reporting on it globally. It is suitable for any organization, regardless of what is their size, sector, or location. Even a small company can select GRI because it's voluntary. If you want to be in accordance, then you have to follow those 9 principles, which we have learned in our GRI bootcamp. But otherwise, you can always report there. SASB bootcamp also we are planning to bring, which is one of the free bootcamps for our Diamond member. So where we will learn about IFRS S1 and S2, which helps business to identify and report sustainability issues that most impact the financial performance. Here again, focus remain with the finance. Why? Because IFRS is a financial regulatory body. TCFD is similar, where opportunity and risk need to be reported specifically related to finance in terms of financial implication, right? So this is how we differentiate these 3 stuff. Now, business and financial case, what we have done here is we have taken how ESG enhances risk management and corporate performance. For example, Tesla, right? We have learned the case of Tesla where they are able to gain 40% of their revenue to the tune of sometimes $600 million in a year, coming alone from, not in a year, in a quarter. $600 million in a quarter, $1.2 billion as a revenue coming from carbon credits. And that is how Tesla is enhancing their risk management and corporate performance together by implementing ESG. If you have taken our GHG protocol class, you know that when we talk about national carbon accounting frameworks, we talk about US EPA, right? US का regulation है, correct?
Yes.
Environmental Protection Agency, how Tesla has used those protection agency at their advantage, we discuss this in detail, right? Same story is here, that to get additional financial performance, Tesla utilizes ESG factors. Second, companies like Microsoft is doing for their risk mitigation because they know they are expanding very fast. Their data center is growing massively along with the manpower which they are employing. They need to be socially divergent enough to attract right talent to maintain that growth. And at the same time, the data center emitting carbon dioxide can be only controlled by putting ESG measures in place. Even though they have committed for 2030 carbon neutrality, they've carbon negative being carbon negative and neutral, they are still growing faster and their scope 3 emission is growing. And one of the last session of this class, we go and check that specifically. Now here, risk mitigation comes through resilience, operational efficiency, and reputational management. While impact of ESG is also on cost of capital, because this capital, first of all, is massive number is going into asset under management right now under sustainable level, means to the tune of $40 trillion are there in sustainable label currently. An exact number which is available for investment is around $3 trillion approximately, and it is growing based on energy, which area you are talking about. Each area has some kind of investment available. But if you check asset under management with a green label, including people depositing and people investing those money, is around $40 trillion. Yeah, 30 to 40%. The impact is that cost of those capital, because there is additional avenue of capital available for you, because you are following ESG, it becomes a very good business case for reducing your cost of capital. And eventually your investment return also increases because of 5 pathways of materiality along with shareholder value. So lower cost of capital is first advantage. Second is higher investment return, because empirically we have seen companies which or the ETFs which follows ESG closely, or the company which are following ESG closely, that ETF gives better return. Exchange traded fund gives a better return than the even time sometime the stock market itself. Increased shareholder value and access of capital is another example there. Now let's have a quick quiz and then we will close for the day. And we will take the second session on Saturday and Sunday, third session. Okay. Let's have a quick quiz. What does E stands for? Use the chat box or unmute yourself and tell us what does it primarily focuses on. What's the correct answer? Anyone? Correct answer for question number 1. Rajni ji.
दे दिया.
B.
अच्छा,
B.
मैं बोल रहा था सर. Okay, B, correct. Environmental, a company impact on the natural world. Question number 2. Which of the following is an example of company excelling in social pillar of ESG? And be careful here.
Is it only A, B, and C? Because I'm not able to see the below.
D is Patagonia. Patagonia for its sustainable supply chain and environmental initiative. Okay, Rajni has Girish also has given the correct answer. B, question number B, Girish. Sorry, question number 2. You are using chat box. Sorry, I didn't say that. Which of the
Last time you
following?
said na, we trouble you a lot, so I'm giving in the chat box.
Okay, fair. Okay, correct. Okay. So which of the following is an example of company excelling solar pillar? His answer is B. Why? Because Ben and Jerry, for championing their social justice system, impacts the community. And that is why, and they are engaging the community, and that's why that becomes. That is the correct answer. Let's take another question. Question number 3.
It's below.
what does the governance pillar of the ESG primarily evaluate? What it evaluate? Does it evaluate environmental policy? Does it evaluate relationship with employee community? Good, I can see Rajni ji has answer. It's not clear. Okay, I'm reading.
Yes.
If it is not clear, I'm reading it. Why it is not clear? It's very clear on my screen. Okay.
It is clear. At times it was not clear, but otherwise now it's clear.
Okay.
Sir,
Okay.
networking issue.
Achha, network might be, I might have a fragile network. Okay, I saw
Clear
that.
is not-
Everybody has given correct answer. It's C, company leadership in ethics, transparency, and accountability. Good. Understanding if our foundation is strong, then nobody will stop us. Second last question. Which of the following best describes ESG investing? Investing solely in companies with the highest financial return, avoiding investment in a company that harm environment, integrating environmental, social governance factor into financial decision making to create positive change and generate returns, right? Or focusing only on companies with a strong diversity and inclusion policy.
C.
Perfect. Digi also good. Girish, Dr. Manjusa, Presley. Your answers are not coming. If you will not be interactive, it will go on the boring side of the discussion. Okay. So remember, interact, at least ask question or answer, either of these two. Otherwise, you will think it is boring. How many of you think it is boring? By the way, let me ask an honest
No, no,
question.
no, it's very interesting.
No, certainly not. It's interesting.
It's very interesting.
Manjusa, where you are in the that spectrum right now? Dr. Manjusa, by the way, she is Dr. Manjusa. Presley, where are you in the spectrum? I think you are moving. That's why you are unable to unmute. Like Girish. Okay, so one word. Give me one word. How do you feel about climate change? What do you understand about climate change? Because that's the topic I'm going to start. Not today, of course. We'll start it on Saturday. One word. How do you feel about climate change? Bhaskar ji, Rajni ji, at least the people who are
It's
able to unmute.
interesting.
Interesting. Okay, good word. Rajni ji,
You said, how do you feel about the climate change?
yes,
Climate
one
change,
word. What's your feeling?
need to be cautious about it.
Cautious is your word. Okay. Girish, what do you think? At least you can put in chat box. One word. Very interesting because look, I ran it to second time I'm running right now. And when I will tell you the answer, which I have received in previous batch and now this batch, you'll be astonished. Dr. Manjusa, Presley, anyone, please answer.
Cause
Okay.
of concern. Because it's
Concern,
changing.
disaster, these
Disaster.
are the word everybody is using. Yeah, and definitely interesting. And this is a
One has to be
common.
afraid of.
People are afraid, people are cautious, people are feeling it's evident. Yeah, these are the words.
इतना बी का वेदर ही देख लीजिए कितना कैसा हो गया है.
Absolutely. सब जगह का Bangalore का weather has gone bad so much so that it's unlivable right now. Yeah.
अच्छा,
It's a kind of,
the
sometimes it's
best.
too hot, sometimes it's too cold. Much needed to take care of. Absolutely. Good, Grace. A last question.
Biggest
What do you
challenge.
think about biggest challenge in addressing climate change? What is that? It is a
Rising temperature, sir, of course. Rising change
that's
in drift in the temperature pattern.
correct. That is your opinion. Anybody else opinion?
I feel making people to be, conscious about the climate.
Making them conscious. Okay, good.
That
Anybody,
is also one of the important reason. Yes.
anybody else? Okay, so good feedback. We will start tomorrow with, sorry, on Saturday with climate science
सर
and
आप ये रिस्क मैनेजमेंट कब पढ़ाएंगे?
कौन सा मैनेजमेंट?
वो आपने मॉड्यूल 4 बताया ना, 3 या 4 रिस्क मैनेजमेंट वाला, ESG इन्वेस्टिंग एंड द रिस्क मैनेजमेंट.
अच्छा इसमें आप बोल रहे हो कि वो सेकंड
बूट कैंप.
लास्ट डे
बूट
पे
कैंप.
केवल लास्ट डे पे वी विल कवर द मॉड्यूल 4 and 5 मोस्टली 4 and 5.
When is that last day coming up?
Last day is mostly on Sunday. Sunday.
So can I join in that?
Of course. You
Oh,
will.
because risk management, well, I would like to listen, sir.
Not a problem. Raising change in temperature is another concern. Absolutely.
Yes,
Okay,
rise
so
in
with
the
that, we have come to the end, and we will pick up on Saturday with climate science and energy transition, and how energy transition is an important subject, why investing is heavily happening there, and why people who are in energy transition is making monumental returns and growth. One of the good examples, Suzlon Energy. With that, we end to the session. We'll meet you on Saturday. Announcement will be done. I am going in Kumbh. If there will be delay, class will be shifted. So good wishes that I return in time. So I take the class on Saturday. Take
Hopefully
care.
you return by the time you go the
Hopefully
class.
return. Oh my God. Yeah,
No,
that.
hopefully you return in time. I will never say that.
अच्छा in time.
I
Yeah.
wish you a great bath. आपको रास्ता साफ मिले, आप ब्लॉक नहीं हो. हमारी दुआएं एक डुबकी हमारी तरफ से भी मार लीजिएगा.
बिल्कुल। अरे वहाँ एक अच्छा बिजनेस भी चल रहा है। आप लोग फोटो भेज देना, मैं फोटो को नहला दूंगा। 1 लाख रुपए उसका फीस है, फोटो को नहलाने का।
फिर मैं खुद जा रही हूँ 21 को.
बहुत बढ़िया। अगर मौका मिले तो जरूर जाना चाहिए, अगर आप कर
हाँ,
पाए।
एक बार देखें क्या है, जो भी है
और
तो मेगा ही. नो
नहीं, मैं
डाउट अबाउट.
सीरियसली मैं सुना कि ऐसा भी बिजनेस हो रहा है। हाँ, ऐसा भी बिजनेस, लाख लोगों ने ज्वाइन किया हुआ है। ₹1,00,000 नहीं है फीस, कुछ ₹100, ₹1,000 ले रहा है हर एक आदमी से, और फोटो नहलाता है।
सारे रिश्तेदारों की फोटो लेके अच्छा रेवेन्यू हो सकता है. ग्रुप फोटो ले जाए, फैमिली की सबको निला दिया जाए एक ही बार.
This will be a mega trend now.
This is a new thing. गिरीश जी was
So you're talking. But this was a good review, let me tell you. जो आपने किया ना लास्ट वाला,
right.
हाँ, it was a good review. एकदम फ्रेश हो
Yeah,
गया फिर से.
चलिए,
Thank you, sir.
absolutely.
Good night, sir. Bye.
Thank you. Good night.
good night. Take care. Bye bye. See you.
Bye.